Good morning, you all. Happy Monday, the last Monday in 25. And we're about to step into a new year. Good morning, y'all. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hope all is well. Hope you all had a fantastic weekend. I most definitely did. Um, I'm on the road this morning, heading over to Chicago, taking that quick drive from Milwaukee to Chicago. And as I was getting ready this morning, I wasn't Some would say that I wasn't getting ready for work per se, but I thought about how I really am. It still is like work, right? Because if I was still the principal, I would be going to this funeral that I'm going to today. So unfortunately, I'm going to Chicago for a funeral, but it's for a woman who um, is Sylvia Durham, who was a woman that worked at school I was a principal of over here in Chicago several years ago. I was over the Young Women's Leadership Charter School of Chicago, and she was one of the staff members there. And somebody asked me, how did she pass? And I figured, age, probably health declining and things of that nature hold on, because she was actually, hopefully that's a little better, I don't know. She was actually an older woman years ago when I was there. But I think she was still pretty active until maybe very recently because she still used to communicate with me through Facebook. My point, I thought about how you never really stop being someone's principal, whether it's a student, whether it's a staff member, whether it was a family of a student that you work with, um, because when things happen, you're still informed as if you're still their principal. Why? Because you made some type of impact, lasting impact on not just the deceased, but the living who knew you and who you were to this person, right? So shout out to my former assistant principal, Erica Whitehead, who's still a Chicago administrator to this day. She contacted me to let me know that Miss Durham passed, and I appreciate that. But she didn't just tell me, she told me for informational reasons, I'm sure. But I'm sure she knew that I would come, right? Now, those who know me know I have no problem getting in the car. If I have a car and it drives, I'm going to drive it. Nothing stops me from driving somewhere other than like if it's California or Texas or something like that. But you all get my point. If it's within driving distance, I'm going. And I'm going over here because of who Miss Durham was to me, who Miss Durham was to the school, who Miss Durham was to the children, the families. And I just like to give honor where honor is due, even after the person has passed. See, sometimes people feel like, oh, they won't know I'm there. Yeah, but you know if you were there or not. You know what that person meant to you. And it's always nice to just kind of see people that you haven't seen in a long time. You usually see them at funerals, right? Well, how many funerals I've attended of either former staff members, former families of children that I had, as their principal, and unfortunately even former students I've had to go to. I remember when I was living in Chicago, I think we lost two or three students from Milwaukee, and I remember driving up here for their funeral. Um, yeah, I just do that. That's what I mean. Like it's almost like you still got to call Miss Fields. That's who I was, during my earlier principal years. I was Miss Fields, and y'all, that's why even after I got married, I never changed my name. I added Russell, but I didn't remove Fields because it was, at the time, it was a strategy for enrollment, right? If people heard that Miss Fields was the leader of this school, that would trigger their memory and say, wait, the Miss Fields I had as a teacher, I need my key. I mean, people will call me and say, when I heard your name, I knew I had to put my kids wherever you were because you knew how to handle me, and I need my kids to have somebody like you. That's always honorable, you know? Uh, but I don't take it lightly. That's my point. I don't take it lightly when people reach out, even though I'm not in the role anymore. They still look at me as important enough to be there for this person and their family, right? So, you know, although it's a sad there with y'all, y'all still on. I thought it cut me off because it said my phone got hot. But nonetheless, although it's a sad occasion, I'm really, really glad that Miss Whitehead remembered to let me know so that I could come and pay honor to Miss Durham, Miss Sylvia Durham. Durham used to keep the kids in check too. And I love the fact that, see, principals, y'all understand when I say this. There will always come a time where in the principal role, some days you're gonna be in that office by yourself. You may be angry, you may be hurting, you may be confused, you may be indecisive. And it's always, you know, it's something when you think you have the support of your leaders above you and you find out you don't necessarily. And then you think you have the support of, you know, staff, and then some of them turn. Ms. Durham was that always that sound of reason, the sounding board and the voice of reason. Um, and she would come in my office and she would say things like, Ms. Fields, you know what's right. You do what's right, and I stand behind you. And she always did. She was a woman of her word. And when you find people like that on your team, keep them, value them, nurture them, right? And I did that for Miss Durham while I was there during my time there. She was already somebody there, so she had seen the beginnings, the middle, the end. She saw it all. She saw it all, and now she is taking her rest. So just remember that. Remember, if you truly, truly make an impact on a group of people, you're going to have that lasting legacy. And that's what you want to be known for. See, if I wasn't that principal at that time, the staff wouldn't feel the need to inbox me and let me know. And Ms. Whitehead wasn't the only one who let me know. There were several others who asked me if I was aware. And I told them yes. And I kept my word and said I was coming. So, Lord willing, I'll be there in less than an hour to pay my respect to Miss Sylvia Durham. All right, y'all keep doing what you do. Keep making memories, keep making impacts, and keep leaving legacy. See y'all later.